this is Diane from Teach Pre-K, and I think about a month to 6 weeks ago, I did just a very honest video about a very challenging pre-K class that I have, and I've asked for support all year, and um, I finally, about 2 weeks ago, had an observation from an early childhood behavior specialist who works at a place here in my city called the Children's Center. And they work with kids that have autism, sensory issues, and really kind of some severe behavior issues, maybe due to their home environment or just some developmental things that they're having a lot of problems with. So she is definitely an expert and has been in the field longer than I have. So it was nice to have her come and observe my class. Unfortunately for me, the day she visited my class was one of the 2 days a week where I have two teachers. And for some strange reason, the kids were wonderful. But she met with me on Wednesday after a really, really rough day where I had someone who wouldn't come in from the playground. And when I finally got them in the building, they ran and I had to go. I'm in the basement. I had to go up to the third floor to retrieve this child. It was just a lot. There were some reasons why all that happened, having to do with medication that the child is on not being administered for a few days, and that being the first day that he had his afternoon meds again. The last time I started giving him his meds, a similar situation happened, so it was kind of predictable, but yet there were only two of us that day. We don't have walkie-talkies at our school. My poor aide was by herself with 15 of the kids that are already difficult, trying to figure out what to do. We couldn't call down to the other class because I was on the third floor. The other class is down the hall from my room. So it was just a day, I have actually a lot of days similar to that with that class. So this is, nothing unusual. But so if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, I suggest you do before you see this video, because then you'll kind of have more of an idea of what I'm working with. But if you don't, that's okay too, because if you're having similar issues, this video is for you, totally for you. One thing that the behavior specialist noticed about my class is most of them come from extended. So I have a class of 16, 12 of which come from our extended day program. And they have been together at that extended day program, which is just across the parking lot from our school, since some of them 7:30 in the morning. So they've already had a pretty long day. They've been together for a long time. Issues have already cropped up. They've already started a day together where it might not be so good. So some behavior patterns are kind of on a trajectory when they hit my class already. And I don't know anything about what's already gone on. There's a little combination of communication and non-communication with myself and the extended day teachers. I could ask them more questions and get more information, but the transition time for them being taken from extended and brought to my room is pretty short. She's got kids over there already she's got to get back to. So there's not a whole lot of time for a discussion. And on my part, I could ask more questions. And that is one thing that I will probably do going forward. On super bad days, I've asked a lot of questions and it doesn't always really help. But it might help me with strategies. So, but she noticed that these kids are coming from extended and most of them are boys. I'd say out of the 12, I'd say maybe 7 are boys. 6 or 7 are boys. So more than half are boys. And they have a ton of energy. They want to be running. They want to be jumping. They want to be throwing. They want to be tackling. All these things that they cannot do in my classroom. So she suggested maybe because it's cold and we have a lot of snow, and so I can't do like beginning of the day outside time. But she suggested that maybe I can start the day with having my 3 tables of activities, but also having an active mini center. When there are 3 of us, I can take that mini center out to the hallway. When there are 2 of us, I can't, because there should be 2 of us in the room at all times. So one thing that we did, and I'm going to have to look for this because I got so many things prepped before this video. We were learning about space. So I did an asteroid throwing. I'm going to find my asteroid, guys. Oh, here it is. It was super close. I did an asteroid throwing mini center out in the hallway. I had 3 little containers, like bucket size, basket sized. And I had a bunch of just foil balls. So I've got foil at school. I have tons of baskets and containers that I could use. This was super easy. So we're in a basement. So I've got a big space in the stairwell and a hallway. So I decided I would do this in the stairwell, and I might do a lot of activities in that stairwell because it's just outside my doorway, so I can pop in and help if somebody starts crying or my aide needs help. But yet we are taking kids out of the classroom and reducing the amount of kids we have in our small classroom because it is a small classroom for 16 active kids. But we just balled up foil, and they threw foil balls, and they each could have at least 2 foil balls and retrieve their foil balls. I made some rules ahead of time that they could not run up the stairs or do tricks on the stairs, that if they chose to do that, their other choice was to go back into the classroom. And they seemed to really figure out that their choice was to play with the foil balls. So I started out with 4 kids, and they loved it. They had a wonderful time. Once they kind of got a little tired of playing that game, they would go back in, and I'd bring more kids out. And there was only 1 or 2 kids that I had to say, okay, you've had enough time. You need to go back in the classroom, and I've got to bring more kids out. So every child came out and threw the foil ball. So all 16 kids took at least a little turn doing it. Some were done really fast, and only 2 did I have to ask to leave at what I thought was a reasonable time. And the reasonable time was pretty long because we let our mini centers run like 25 to 30 minutes. My kids have a really soft drop-off time. Class time starts officially at 12:30, but they come at 12:20, and you bet that EDP teacher gets this group over 12:20 on the dot. So for those kids, I might have, a 35, 40-minute mini center time. I've tried shortening my mini center time. It just gives me too much dead time at the end of the day, and things tend to go crazy. I've played around with the timing of things a lot, and this timing pretty much is what I'll stick with, especially because of the other thing that she suggested, which I will get to in a minute. But so I got on Amazon and I looked at what other indoor physical activities we could do. We already have some things like foil balls and containers. I'm doing farms this next week, so I'm going to do like an egg walk, like take an egg from one basket, walk over to the other basket so that the kids are constantly moving. I've got balance beams already. I have bean bags, and I can beanbag toss stuff that I can do already. So I thought about what I already had, and I thought, okay, let's add more just so we can rotate through these physical activities, do something similar to this little thing. We got lots of balls and bean bags and stuff. So what I found were like a lot of like stepping stone things, and I'm like, okay, balance boards. We've got some of those in our gym. I'll get those already. Scooters, no way will I do scooters with this group of kids. Oh, no. But I did find these little kind of like half Bosu balls. In the picture, they looked like they were going to be bigger, But you just have to think about what little kids' feet, the size of little kids' feet. I can balance on this side, no problem. I could have the kids take their socks off so they could feel the bumpy side of this because it's super bumpy. And we could use these as stepping stones. I could add the balance beams and tunnels, and we could do an obstacle course out in the hallway. I have really mixed feelings about that. There's lots of coat hooks, there's lots of people. I'm going to try to keep things to the stairwell. I can turn these on this side and they become their own little balancing ball things, and we could have some balancing contests, or we could do like, okay, do it on 1 foot, do it on 2 feet, put your arms here, whatever. I'll just kind of make this up as I go, but I did purchase these from Amazon, and I will leave a link to these because I think these will be a fun thing. I can also put these on my rug for days that there's just 2 of us, so I don't have to take them out in the hallway. I can do the little foil ball tests and stuff, toss on the rug too. So another thing that I got was a dartboard with Velcro balls. Oh, I looked at tons of them. So this one, I haven't even opened this yet. It has got, looks like 12 Velcro balls. They're kind of tiny. I wish they were a little bit bigger, but this is actually okay. Most of the ones I looked at, the dartboard was really small. And this one came with like this nice little storage thing. So it stores really pretty flat actually, so it won't take up much space. I liked that. And it pops up to be, I'm gonna go way out here, really big. So the kids are gonna have more of a chance to be successful actually hitting this. And I think they'll like that better. And this is something I can use in my room on days when there's just 2 of us, and take it out in the hallway when there are 3 of us. So I'm excited to try that too. The biggest takeaway she gave me was, with this group of kids, after watching them, we need 3 people all the time. Ha 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 ha. That's just not possible. We're gonna try, I'm gonna get with the other teacher and say, can you give me the aid maybe 1 more day a week? So, maybe we have a little less time when there's just 2 of us. Maybe our Mondays can be just 2 of us because we also have a Spanish period in there. I don't know. So I started on Thursday by letting them do a physical activity. Do I feel like it made a huge difference? No. Do I feel like it made a little difference? Yes. So there was less craziness in the room during that time. When the weather warms up, I'm going to let them have 2 outside periods. Our mini center period will be outside. And I'll have chalk out, trucks out. I'll bring other things out. I'll have little games like this that they can do, but we'll just do it outside. That way they've got the playground, the basketball hoops, the houses. They've just got more things to do. It's just not possible right now. It's too cold. It involves a lot of coats, sometimes snow pants, things like that. So I've got maybe another month that I've got to make sure that I'm doing inside, and that's okay. And then I can move to taking my mini centers outside. And she was shocked we didn't have walkie-talkies. So we just got a big tech grant. They're trying to find ways to spend money. They're going to get me some walkie-talkies. Whoo, good timing on that. So then I can keep one teacher downstairs getting the kids settled. Their water bottles can be put away. They can get some hand sanitizer, hang up their backpack, and she can say, hey, Diane, so-and-so just got here. I'm sending them up to you. And I can open our gate for them and make sure the door's open for them, and I get a chance to greet them and have that personal connection with them that is so important to them having a good day. So that might help with the activity level of these kids and help bring down the energy in my room a little bit when we have to sit for circle time. She wasn't a huge fan of my assigned seats. I'm not a huge fan of my assigned seats, but she does understand if that's something I have to do to get through certain periods of my day, that I should definitely keep that in place. She was extremely complimentary about the way we handled our classrooms. the way that the kids are able to make their own choices through center time and with teacher-led centers. She was great. She loved that we were very affectionate with the kids and that we were super positive with them. Like I got a lot of validation that I am the excellent teacher that I know I am. I do feel defeated every day from this group. I am not going to lie. But from an early childhood teacher perspective, I'm doing all the right things. My room is small, but it's a quality environment. We've got a quality program. We are doing it the right way. She did let my aide and I know that we can let go a little bit of preparing the kids for kindergarten. Academically, I know my kids are prepared for kindergarten. I mean, they are super smart kids. They're wonderful. Are they going to be able to sit through morning meeting? No, they're not. And that's not really my job right now. And that made me feel good because if one of the children on my rug needs to lay down and there's space for them to lay down without disturbing another child, I let them. If that's what they need to do to get through whole group time, that's okay. So one thing she noticed was a lot of my kids were very sensory oriented. One child in particular just needed to be touching me, like coming up for hugs all the time or touching my feet, touching my legs, just practically, if she could crawl into my skin, she would love it. And I love this child. She's a wonderful, wonderful girl. Very physical. Sometimes, I mean, she's a large child too, so she's really physical with the boys, and she can take all of them down. I mean, that girl, she's going to be the protector, and she's amazing. But she would go from me to touching the aide to touching the other aide to needing to be on a lap to wanting to be on my chair with me. So she said, let's get her a sensory toy that she can have, like give her a big hug at the start of circle time and say, okay, I'll give you a hug after circle time too. And you can play with this little sensory squishy. And I looked at my aide and she looked at me. They're all going to want a squishy. So I bought squishies for everybody. So I'm going to show you what I chose for my squishies. There's a lot of cheaper ones out there. But when I read those descriptions, I thought this one would be perfect. Look at how adorable. A, cuteness factor, super important with kids this age. This is so soft. Like, I want to rub it on my face. I want to sleep on this thing. I can squish it this way and make a bubble, and bubbles come out both directions. I can squish it this way, like bubblegum and taffy, and just really. So I thought these would be great. So when I was discussing these squishies, because I want to throw this squishy, they're going to want to throw the squishy. They're going to start throwing squishies at me. So the answer to that is to always, again, give choices. Okay, you can have this squishy if you sit in your seat. If you let go of this squishy, if you throw this squishy, if you throw this squishy at someone else, if you start hitting yourself in the head with this squishy, it becomes my squishy, and you can have another chance tomorrow. We'll try again tomorrow. Because some kids aren't going to be able to handle this. For some kids, this is going to be super effective. I just got these yesterday, which was Friday, and that's my day off. So I haven't had a chance to use these. So I'll use these on Monday. So maybe I'll have another follow-up to tell you how all these things are working. So I got 16 of these squishies, and they will live in a squishy container, squishy bucket, whatever. Another problem that I had were kids needing to go to the bathroom constantly during circle time and during my whole day. So she suggested that a couple of times during that mini center time before we go to circle time, I'll say, okay, you've got about 15 minutes to go to the bathroom. If you need to go potty, go now. Okay, you've got about 10 minutes, turn the light off to get their attention. Okay, you've got about 10 minutes to use the bathroom or get a drink. Get your drinks and go to the bathroom now, because during circle time, you're not going to be able to do it. So do it now. I'm not going to let you go. You've got 5 more minutes. So keep giving them those warnings and those opportunities to use the bathroom, get a drink of water from their water bottle, because during circle time, they cannot get up and their water bottles are going away. Their water bottles will come back during circle time when they are wandering the room, choosing which center to go to, and they are not taking from my time or group teaching time. Love that idea. So I did do that on Thursday as well. Some of the kids really didn't get it. It's a new thing, but I have one girl who probably uses the bathroom about, I would say, lowest amount of times 4, and we're only there together 2.5 hours, maximum of 10. She has had accidents, so I hate it when she says, oh, I have to go really bad, but I'm kind of onto her, and she's progressed to the point where she's not having accidents. She just wants something else to do. So I did the warnings. I let her go. After the warnings were done and we were doing circle time and we're at cleanup time, she goes, can I go potty? I've got to go real bad. You just went, and yeah, we're just not going to. You need to go during the times we can go. I did let her go one more time during the day because I don't think it's unreasonable to go to the bathroom 2 or even 3 times when you're 4 to 5 years old. And she is one of the younger ones. But, sometimes I let her go to the bathroom just to get her out of the classroom because she's an instigator of a lot of problems, and that's my bad. But another thing that she suggested was to use a baby gate because I had a lot of runners. You guys, I've never had kids leave my classroom. Maybe twice in 13 years have I had a child run out of my classroom after the first 2 weeks of school. Never. So I am using the baby gate that the toddlers use it the first half of the year. And when I told them why, none of them disputed it. Of course, they all wanted to play with it. They all know how it works. I don't care that they all know how to open it. Because, of course, my principal immediately said, oh, they're all going to know how to open it. My 2-year-old grandson knows how to open it. I'm like, I don't care. It will slow them down. It will slow them down. And with 16 kids running around, it'll give me a chance to check the door. I check the door constantly, but good Lord knows I cannot be eyes on the door every 5 seconds. So that's another thing that we started on Thursday with success. When the parents asked about it, I was very honest with them and told them why. And they kind of chuckled, ah, ha, ha. They all know. They're all very aware of how rough this group is. Another thing that she kept emphasizing over and over is giving that choice for everything, which I'm really good at giving the choice of, you could do this or this. I can help you do this, or you can do it on your own, things like that. But sometimes in the moment when things are really hairy and really crazy, it's hard to think, okay, what's the other choice, that I can accept. So just kind of refreshing myself that I always need to offer that choice. And that came in super handy when we were doing our little foil ball activity and they all wanted to go up the stairs. So that was great. Another thing she suggested was to get a bucket of windmills. So everyone has a windmill. And during circle time, if it's been extremely rowdy, I'll tell them when you get settled, I can give you your windmill and you can practice holding it and breathing into the windmill and making the windmill spin around. It's kind of hard to do, so they really have to use your breath. So that can get them at a calm down point. But if they're not ready to use their windmill, if they're not sitting ready to go, they're not getting their windmill. If they use it to crash someone on the head, it will be taken away and they can have a chance the next day. So I'm going to the dollar store to get windmills today. So we won't do that every day, but we'll see how that works. We'll see how the squishies work. I was really happy that she did let me know all the things I was doing right. I knew she would. I think that's the best way to deal with anyone, whether you're talking about their child or anything, is to start with, here's all these positives. She had so many positives. I thought, okay, hurry, let's get to the negatives. But it was really nice. I mean, she liked how we let the kids sit in our lap and how we offered alternatives like, okay, she's going to sit in my lap today. You can sit in my lap tomorrow. Today I'm only having one child sit in my lap. She did let us know that just our patience with the kids, how we give the kids warnings before all our transitions. All of my transitions have warnings. She did suggest like singing a song to the, like with the kids that were already at circle time that we could do. Everyone else could join. I'm the worst with songs, so I might need your help on that. If you guys have any great transition songs, I'm sure I have some. I make a lot of songs up on the fly. I tend to be really good at that for some reason, but they all have the same tune. So I do sing a song going into circle time. I do sing a lineup song. I don't sing a cleanup song. I was doing Mission Impossible for the last few minutes of cleanup. They got a little crazy with that. I would just play it on iTunes, and they got a little crazy. They request it every day, and I'll go, oh, we get too crazy. Maybe I'll try it and see, for the last few minutes. So I'll do it because it's only really a 2 minutes little song. I will do it. But then if they get crazy, I'll turn it off and say, we're just going to have to try this again another day. So I had something in my head that I wanted to tell you. Oh, so cleanup is a big issue for a lot of us. And the kids just don't clean up. Some of them do no cleanup. Get it through your head that you are going to do most of the cleanup. You as the teacher, you as the aide, you're going to do most of the cleanup. And a lot of times, I look at the clock and I just start cleaning up things. Or if the kids lose interest with what's at a table, I start cleaning a little bit of it up, or I might clean half of it up or a portion of it up so that our cleanup time will go faster and will be a little less chaotic. So if you go into cleanup time knowing you are going to do most of it, you'll do most of it and you won't be as like, Urgh. So another thing that I do during cleanup that she really liked is that I will grab a child and I'll say, oh my gosh, you are going to be in charge of getting the Legos off the floor. And a lot of times I'll give them a bucket. That is one of my biggest teacher hacks. You give someone a bucket, you call it a floor bucket. They think it's great. They want the blue one, the yellow one, the pink one, whatever. And if they don't get a floor bucket that day, they're on the list. Make a list of who gets a floor bucket tomorrow. And having a floor bucket makes them clean stuff up from the floor super fast. Then they go sort it at the different tables or whatever. And they think they've got this specific job. So if you go to certain kids that will be receptive to having a certain job, or you say, oh my gosh, I really need your help and you are so good at this. You are so good at dumping the trays into the Lego box. Will you go do that for me? You're going to get some of those kids on board a little bit more. But never give them the bulk of the cleanup. It's going to look into their 4 or 5-year-old eyes like way too much to do. So just, keep that in mind. So I hope this has been helpful to some of you. You might not have the opportunity to have a behavior specialist come to your class, but sit down and write all the things you're doing well. You guys, if you're trying to do seat work with kids that are 3 to 5 years old and have them sit like little soldiers, give it up. It's not going to happen. If it is happening, are you really running a child-centered program? No. Kids from 3 to 5 are not developmentally ready to sit in a seat and do worksheets. You will not see very many worksheets in my classroom. I will do worksheets as a throwaway activity or an activity for a teacher to do, like a coloring book or something like that, for a teacher to do if I need that teacher to be supervising free centers while the other 2 teachers are doing a more hands-on center. I try really hard to have 0 worksheets unless they're like a search and find like letter activity, but then they're doing something. They're manipulating a dauber or a marker or a highlighter or something. If it's just coloring, I throw that in if I need a teacher to be on deck for other stuff. So keep them active, keep them busy. One thing that I did with the letter match center, I put buckets on opposite sides of the rug, and they would have to pick one from one bucket, run over to the other bucket, find the match, leave it there, pick up something from this bucket, go over. So uppercase letter, run over to the lowercase letter bucket, find the match, leave it there, pick up a lowercase letter, run it over the uppercase bucket, find the match, leave it there. stuff like that. That way they were mobile and they were moving. So look at the centers that you have planned or the centers that you have to do. I did a clip card one the same way. Pick up the clip card, run over to the clothespins, clip it there, leave it there, run back to the clip card stack, grab a clip card. Look at your centers. See if there's a way you can get the energy out for these kids. I know this has been super long, you guys, but she also gave me a whole bunch of handouts. Like this is high quality environments checklist. I'm going to make a copy of this and put a link to a PDF there. Helping children transition. I guess this organization right here, everything that they do is research-based. So if you go to their website, everything is research-based. Here's another one. So I will leave that website link too. This was where I got showed me the pinwheel breathing. This is from occupational therapist, mama of twins. How to identify a sensory seeker. I might make up my own little thing like that and offer it in my free resource library, which is coming up really soon. I'll give you guys a link to the password for that. Here's another thing, invitations for learning and about cleanup time and how it isn't the most important time of the day. It's not their center time where they are making their own choices. That is the most important part of the day. Anytime they can make their own choices, your mini center, your center time. This is really cool too. So I'm just gonna make copies of all this stuff. I'm gonna make my own one of these, what we do in circle time, and have that available in my free resource library. I don't like this. I just don't like the artwork. I want it to be cuter. I want it to be bright and fun. So I will make this bright and fun. So that's that. I know this ran a little long, but maybe it gives you some ideas of what you can do, some things you can get for your classroom that aren't going to break the bank. None of the things that I got were more than $20. So I like that. We already had an extra baby gate. Of course, the walkie-talkies are going to be more than $20. They're going to be up there in the $100, $150, maybe $200 range because we need 6 of them. But wow, do I think they will make a huge difference, because we really could have used the help the day that we were on our own with just the 2 of us and we had the runner and whatever. But consider some of those things. I also kind of make the kids like sign out for using the bathroom with a picture of themselves so I know who's in the bathroom at all times by sight. I've shown that in one of my videos too. So move around my site, look at some of my videos, and you're going to find some really good suggestions to help you manage your class as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you hopefully next week.